World Peace Products and Services Expo and Conference. It's not just an event, it's a movement, a global gathering that transcends borders and time zones. Mark your calendars, September 21st, 2025. For 7 hours from 12 o'clock to 19 o'clock UTC, we unite virtually to build a sustainable future through the Peaceism Ecosystem. This isn't for world leaders alone. It's for you, for me, for anyone who believes in change. You might think, the world's problems are too big for one person. I hear you. But together we're unstoppable. By sharing ideas and passion, we create solutions that ripple across the globe. That's the World Peace Expo. Not just talk. Action, innovation, transformation. Who's it for? Everyone. Policymakers shaping nations, business leaders driving innovation, NGO workers on the front lines, students dreaming of a better tomorrow. If you care about our world, you belong here. 7 pillars, 7 foundations of peace, employment revolution, food security, healthcare for all, sustainable communities, education transformation, justice and equity, global resilience. And this expo, it's just the beginning. 7 more events throughout 2026, each exploring one pillar. A year-long journey towards peace. Your chance to learn, contribute, connect, and be the solution. So here's my call to you, join us. Be part of this global movement. From Saudi Arabia to Morocco, New York to New Delhi, London to Lagos, Sydney to Sao Paulo, you can participate. It's online, it's open, it's for everyone. Visit our website, www.peaceism.org. Mark your calendar. Get ready to be inspired, to connect, to act. Because the future of peace, it's not just in the hands of world leaders, it's in your hands, it's in our hands. Together, we build a world of peace. Not just for us, but for generations to come. Are you ready? The world is waiting.
Breaking news. A major global event has just been announced. The World Peace Products and Services Expo and Conference will go live online across major social media platforms: YouTube, TikTok, Zoom, Facebook, X, formerly Twitter, Instagram, and more. Date: Sunday, September 21st, 2025. Time: 12 Mals, 19 Sat, UTC, 7 hours. Location: online, accessible worldwide. This groundbreaking virtual conference and expo will bring together governments, businesses, NGOs, academics, and thought leaders from every corner of the globe. Under the theme, Building a Sustainable Future Through the Peaceism Ecosystem, the event will showcase peace-driven products, innovative services, and collaborative solutions designed to tackle humanity's most urgent challenges. At the heart of the expo is the Peaceism Ecosystem framework, built on 7 foundational pillars that guide sustainable peace and development for the future. Stay tuned for exclusive coverage, live updates, and highlights from this historic event.
1. Employment revolution. Sustainable job creation models, future skills development programs, social entrepreneurship incubators.
2. Food security and sovereignty, regenerative agricultural practices, smart farming technologies, equitable food distribution systems.
3. Healthcare for all, universal healthcare access models, mental health integration frameworks, preventive care ecosystems.
4. Housing and sustainable communities, affordable housing innovations, eco-urban development plans, disaster-resilient infrastructure.
5. Education transformation, digital learning platforms, peace education curricula, lifelong upskilling initiatives.
6. Justice and equity systems, transparent governance technologies, restorative justice models, human rights protection frameworks.
7. Safety and global resilience, conflict resolution methodologies, disaster preparedness systems, cybersecurity solutions.
Peace be upon you, along with the mercy of the Lord of the world, His blessings and guidance to you. To every human being watching this, a simple greeting from my heart to yours. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Look at your screen, see the faces, the names, the nations represented here. We are not a conference, we are a congregation, the most vital congregation on earth today. We are not here to whisper hopes into the wind. We are here to engineer them into reality. For centuries, we have misunderstood peace. We've framed it as a promise, a poem, a pause between wars. We've seen it as a noun, but today we redefine it. Peace is a verb. It is to build, to grow, to heal, to shelter, to educate, to protect, to empower. This is not a philosophy. This is an operating system for our planet. This is the Peaceism Ecosystem. And it is built on 7 pillars, not of ideas, but of action. 1. The action of creating a job that dignifies a human spirit. 2. The action of sowing a seed that will nourish a community. 3. The action of healing a body and a mind without exception. 4. The action of laying a brick for a safe, affordable home. 5. The action of unlocking a mind with education that liberates. 6. The action of designing a justice system that sees every soul as equal. 7. The action of building a world resilient enough to safeguard our collective future. This is the architecture of true peace. And for the next 7 hours, this virtual space is our blueprint, our workshop, our global headquarters of hope. You will not be spectators. You will be collaborators. You will touch the technology, engage with the innovators, and help forge the partnerships that will deploy these solutions from the ground up. We are done simply identifying problems. The diagnosis is over. Now we prescribe. Now we build. So let us not just observe International Peace Day. Let us activate it. Let us become the architects of active peace. Let us build a future so resilient, so just, and so abundant that peace is no longer a dream we hope for, but the world we live in. It starts here. It starts now. It starts with us. With unwavering conviction, I declare the World Peace Products and Services Expo and Conference open. Blessing and guidance for all.
Hello and welcome to the World Peace Products and Services Expo and Conference. I'm your host, and I'll be guiding you through today's session. Employment Revolution, Sustainable Job Creation, and Social Entrepreneurship. Over the next 30 minutes, we'll explore how new forms of work are shaping our future, why social entrepreneurship is essential for sustainable development, and how peace and employment are connected. Stay with us as we dive into expert insights, case studies, and interactive moments designed to inspire action. Employment across the globe is changing. Technology, climate change, and shifting demographics are reshaping the way we work. This employment revolution is defined by 3 powerful shifts: green jobs, supporting renewable energy, sustainable farming, and climate solutions; digital jobs, created through AI, data, and future-ready technologies; inclusive jobs, designed to bring women, youth, and marginalized groups into the economic system. Together, these create not only income, but also dignity, equity, and pathways to peace. Moderator. Let's begin our panel with the question: what does sustainable job creation really mean? Expert A. It's about designing work that regenerates the environment, not depletes it. Think renewable energy technicians, regenerative farming, and circular economy startups. Expert B. It's also social, empowering women, youth, and refugees with opportunities that transform communities. Moderator. And how can social entrepreneurship incubators help? Expert C. Incubators provide mentorship, capital, and community support. They help startups grow into sustainable enterprises. Expert A. The biggest impact often comes from local, grassroots ideas that grow into global solutions. Let's explore 2 real-world examples. Solar Sister in Kenya. This initiative trains women to distribute solar energy kits, creating green jobs while expanding access to clean power. Digital upskilling hubs in India.
These hubs equip rural youth with AI and digital skills, opening doors to the global freelance economy. These examples show how sustainable jobs and social entrepreneurship can transform lives and communities. Moderator: what skills will be most important in the future of work? Expert B: digital literacy, AI fluency, and critical thinking are key. Expert C: but equally important are empathy, collaboration, and peace-building skills. Expert A: and skills must be supported by fair policies. Otherwise, talent will remain underutilized. Now it's your turn. We'd like to hear from you. Which area should be prioritized to accelerate sustainable jobs? Green technologies, digital skills, inclusive entrepreneurship. Please cast your vote in the chat or poll box. We'll highlight the audience responses in just a moment. Thank you for joining our Employment Revolution session. We've learned that sustainable jobs, powered by social entrepreneurship, are more than just economic opportunities. They are building blocks of peace and equity. Stay tuned for our next session in the Peaceism Ecosystem. Together, let's build a future of work that leaves no one behind.
Hey there, I'm Amir, a recent grad trying to figure out how to make a difference in this crazy world. I've been hearing about this thing called Peaceism, and I think it might be the key to, a better future for all of us. It's all about building a sustainable future through something called the Peaceism Ecosystem. There's this big Expo coming up in 2026 that's all about revolutionizing employment. They're talking about sustainable job creation models that could create millions of new jobs. And get this, they're focusing on developing skills for the future, like the jobs that don't even exist yet. Oh, and there's this cool thing about social entrepreneurship incubators. It's like solving problems and making money at the same time. Wow, I just realized this could change everything. We could actually build a peaceful, sustainable world. If you're like me and want to be part of this change, check out the World Peace Employment Revolution Expo on January 22nd, 2026. Let's build a sustainable future together.
Welcome to the Food Security and Sovereignty Expo Hall, part of the World Peace Products and Services Expo and Conference. I am delighted to guide you through this immersive experience where innovation, technology, and sustainability come together to address one of humanity's most pressing challenges: how to feed the world fairly and responsibly. Food is more than just nourishment. It is the foundation of peace, health, and resilience. When communities have secure access to healthy food, they thrive. When they do not, conflict, inequality, and suffering emerge. That is why food security and sovereignty stand at the heart of the Peaceism ecosystem. Today, we will explore three powerful dimensions: regenerative agriculture, farming practices that restore soil, water, and biodiversity while creating meaningful livelihoods; smart farming technology, digital tools like drones, sensors, and data platforms that make agriculture more efficient, climate-friendly, and resilient; equitable food distribution, systems that ensure fairness, giving small farmers access to markets and making nutritious food available to all, not just the privileged few. Welcome to Booth 1, Regenerative Agriculture. This is where we look at how farming can not only feed people, but also heal the earth. Traditional agriculture, especially industrial monocropping, has taken a heavy toll on our planet. Soil erosion, water depletion, and loss of biodiversity are just some of the consequences. But regenerative agriculture is different. It's based on the idea that farms can function like living ecosystems, restoring balance, capturing carbon, and creating livelihoods that last for generations. Let's look at some of the key practices that make regenerative farming so powerful. First, cover cropping and composting. Instead of leaving fields bare after harvest, farmers plant cover crops, plants like legumes, clover, or rye, that enrich the soil naturally. These plants add organic matter, fix nitrogen, and prevent erosion. When combined with composting, farmers recycle waste back into the soil, turning farms into self-renewing systems. The result? Healthier soil, less dependence on synthetic fertilizers, and greater resilience to droughts and floods. Second, agroforestry. This approach integrates trees into farming systems. Imagine rows of fruit or nut trees planted alongside food crops or pasture land. The trees provide shade, improve soil moisture, capture carbon, and create habitats for birds and pollinators. Farmers gain multiple income streams, from timber, fruits, or nuts, while reducing risk and improving sustainability. Agroforestry brings back diversity to landscapes that industrial farming made uniform. Third, circular farming systems. This means designing farms where every output becomes an input. Animal manure fertilizes crops. Crop residues feed animals. Water is recycled. Nothing is wasted. These closed-loop systems mimic nature itself, where every part plays a role in sustaining the whole. Circular farming reduces costs, lowers emissions, and builds resilience against climate shocks. To see how this works in practice, let's explore a real-world example. For decades, cocoa farming was linked to deforestation and soil degradation. But in recent years, Brazilian farmers adopting regenerative methods have turned this around. They began integrating cocoa trees into agroforestry systems alongside native species. This restored local biodiversity, improved soil fertility, and revived wildlife habitats. At the same time, it created thousands of rural jobs, ensuring families could stay on their land with stable incomes. These farms didn't just produce cocoa beans, they rebuilt communities, ecosystems, and hope. And this is not limited to Brazil. Similar regenerative models are now thriving in Africa, Asia, and North America. Farmers are proving that with the right practices, agriculture can become a solution to climate change rather than a cause. Now imagine this at scale. Millions of farmers worldwide adopting regenerative practices, supported by technology, policy, and consumer demand. We could capture billions of tons of carbon from the atmosphere, restore degraded lands, and create jobs in the process. Regenerative agriculture is more than a farming method. It's a philosophy. It asks us to see the land not as a resource to exploit, but as a partner to nurture. By working with nature instead of against it, we create abundance that is shared fairly, sustainably, and peacefully. If regenerative agriculture is about healing the land, then smart farming is about harnessing the power of technology to make farming more precise, efficient, and sustainable. It's about growing more food with fewer resources, and doing so in a way that reduces waste and protects the planet. Let's explore the innovations driving this revolution. First, AI-powered drones. Imagine drones flying over fields, scanning every plant in real time. Their cameras and sensors detect signs of disease, pest outbreaks, or nutrient deficiencies that the human eye might miss. Instead of spraying an entire field with chemicals, drones help farmers target only the plants that need attention. This reduces pesticide use, lowers costs, and protects ecosystems. In some regions, drones even plant seeds or spray natural fertilizers from the air, turning agriculture into a high-tech, sustainable operation. Second, IoT sensors. IoT, or the Internet of Things, is transforming farms into data-driven ecosystems. Small, affordable sensors placed in soil and irrigation systems monitor moisture, temperature, and nutrient levels 24/7. The data is sent to farmers' smartphones or dashboards, allowing them to water crops only when needed and apply fertilizer with pinpoint precision. This not only saves water, but also reduces runoff that pollutes rivers and lakes. In regions where droughts are becoming more frequent, IoT sensors are a lifeline for food security. Third, blockchain for transparency. Food today travels long distances, from farms to supermarkets to our plates. But how do we know where it came from, or whether it was produced sustainably? Blockchain technology provides a solution. By recording every step of a product's journey in a secure, unchangeable ledger, blockchain ensures farm-to-table transparency. Consumers can scan a code on a package and instantly learn which farm grew their produce, how it was harvested, and whether fair trade or organic practices were followed. This builds trust, empowers ethical choices, and rewards farmers who do things right. Now let's take a closer look at a real-world success story. Case study, the Netherlands. The Netherlands is one of the world's smallest countries by land, yet it has become the second-largest exporter of food, right behind the United States. How? By embracing smart farming technologies. Dutch vertical farms powered by AI grow vegetables under controlled indoor conditions, stacked in layers that rise like skyscrapers. These systems use LED lighting, climate controls, and hydroponics to produce food year-round, regardless of weather. The results are astonishing. 10 times more yield per square meter, using 90% less water than traditional farming. And because the farms are often located near cities, transportation emissions are also drastically reduced. This isn't science fiction. It's happening right now. From AI algorithms predicting crop yields, to robots harvesting lettuce, to satellites monitoring global food supplies, smart farming is rewriting the future of agriculture. The benefits are clear. More food to feed a growing population. Less waste of water, fertilizer, and energy. Greater resilience against climate change, supply chain disruptions, and global shocks. But beyond efficiency, smart farming also represents fairness. By giving farmers access to real-time data and tools, it levels the playing field between large-scale agribusinesses and smallholder farmers. With the right technology, even a small family farm can optimize its output, increase income, and join global supply chains. When combined with regenerative practices we saw at Booth 1, smart farming technology becomes a powerful force, restoring ecosystems while scaling food production. Together, these approaches bring us closer to a future where no one goes hungry and farming becomes a driver of peace, prosperity, and sustainability. When we talk about food security, the challenge isn't always producing enough food. In fact, the world already produces more than enough to feed every person on the planet. The real problem is fairness in access, ensuring that food gets to the people who need it at the right time and at a fair price. Every year, nearly 1/3 of all food produced globally is wasted. At the same time, hundreds of millions of people go hungry. This mismatch isn't a question of scarcity. It's about broken systems of distribution. Equitable food distribution focuses on closing this gap so that abundance is shared rather than lost. Let's look at some of the solutions making a real difference. First, digital food banks. Traditional food banks have been vital in serving communities in need, but they often face logistical challenges like storage, transportation, and mismatched supply and demand. Digital food banks change the game by using technology to link surplus food directly with communities who need it. Imagine a restaurant, supermarket, or farm with extra stock. Instead of going to waste, the surplus is logged into a digital platform, and within hours, it can be matched with local charities, schools, or households. This creates a real-time safety net where no food goes unused and no family is left behind. Second, farmer cooperatives. Smallholder farmers, who produce much of the world's food, often face unfair prices from middlemen who take the largest share of profits. Cooperatives give farmers the power of collective bargaining. By pooling resources, sharing equipment, and negotiating together, farmers can connect directly to markets without being exploited. This means higher incomes, fairer trade, and stronger rural economies. Cooperatives also provide training, access to finance, and resilience against shocks like climate change or price fluctuations. Third, mobile-based platforms for fair payments. In many rural areas, farmers and vendors still rely on cash transactions that are slow, insecure, and often unfair. Mobile-based platforms are changing that. With just a simple phone, farmers can check market prices, receive digital payments instantly, and access microloans for seeds or equipment. This transparency prevents exploitation, builds trust, and ensures that farmers are rewarded fairly for their hard work. These platforms also allow buyers and sellers to connect directly, reducing unnecessary intermediaries and lowering costs for consumers. Case study, Rwanda's eSoko platform. Rwanda provides a powerful example of how digital tools can transform food distribution. The government launched eSoko, a mobile platform that allows farmers to check market prices in real time and sell directly to buyers. Before eSoko, farmers often had to accept whatever price middlemen offered, without knowing the true value of their crops. Now, with access to accurate data and digital payments, farmers have more control, higher incomes, and greater stability. At the same time, consumers benefit from lower prices and fresher produce. Waste is reduced, and fairness is increased. The story of eSoko reminds us that equitable food distribution is not just about technology, it's about dignity. When farmers are paid fairly, they can send their children to school, invest in their communities, and break cycles of poverty. When consumers have reliable access to affordable, nutritious food, entire societies become healthier and more resilient. Imagine scaling these solutions worldwide. Digital food banks connecting surplus in New York or Dhaka with families in need. Cooperatives across Africa and Asia giving small farmers the same market power as industrial producers. Mobile payment systems ensuring that no farmer, no matter how remote, is left behind. Equitable food distribution means fairness, opportunity, and peace. It ensures that food, the most basic human need, is treated not as a privilege, but as a universal right. And it reminds us that solving hunger is not about producing more, but about sharing better. Now that we've explored the big picture, let's look at 3 smart farming innovations in action. Real solutions that are already changing the way food is produced and distributed. First, drone monitoring. Imagine standing at the edge of a large cornfield. Traditionally, a farmer might walk rows for hours, trying to spot signs of pests or disease, often missing small but critical problems until it was too late. Today, AI-powered drones can scan entire fields in minutes. Their high-resolution cameras and infrared sensors detect patterns invisible to the human eye, a patch of yellowing leaves, an unusual heat signature, or the early traces of insect damage. The data is analyzed instantly, generating a detailed map of problem areas. Instead of spraying chemicals across the whole field, farmers can now target only the affected zones. This saves money, protects the soil, and drastically reduces pesticide use. It's not just efficiency, it's a leap forward for sustainability and human health. Second, vertical hydroponics. Picture walking into an apartment building in the heart of a busy city. And instead of a dusty storage room, you find a vertical hydroponic farm. Rows of leafy greens, herbs, and tomatoes are stacked floor to ceiling, growing without soil, using only nutrient-rich water and LED lighting. AI systems control temperature, humidity, and light cycles to optimize growth 24/7. Residents harvest fresh produce right where they live, reducing the need for long supply chains. This model, already flourishing in places like Singapore and New York, produces 10 times more food per square meter while using 90% less water. For crowded urban centers, vertical hydroponics offers food security without expanding farmland, proving that cities themselves can become sources of fresh, sustainable food. Third, the traceability app. Have you ever wondered where your food really comes from? With a simple smartphone app, consumers can now scan a QR code on a package of rice, fruit, or coffee and immediately see its full journey, from the farm where it was grown, to the trucks and warehouses it passed through, to the supermarket shelf. The app also reveals critical data, the carbon footprint of production, whether fair trade standards were met, and exactly how much the farmer earned. This transparency empowers consumers to make ethical choices while rewarding farmers who adopt sustainable practices. It turns every purchase into a vote for a fairer and greener food system. Together, these three demos, drone monitoring, vertical hydroponics, and traceability apps, show us something powerful. They prove that sustainable food systems are not dreams for the distant future. They are working today. Farmers are using them. Cities are adopting them. Consumers are benefiting from them. The challenge now is scale. How do we bring these tools to every community, every farm, and every table? That is the work of innovation, collaboration, and policy. But the path is clear. With technology as our ally, we can grow smarter, waste less, and share more fairly. Smart farming is not just about feeding more people. It's about creating systems that are transparent, just, and resilient. These demos remind us that when we combine innovation with intention, we don't just build better farms, we build a better world. Now let's shift gears and enter networking mode. One of the most exciting features of this expo is the AI-powered matchmaking system. Instead of wandering through a crowded conference hall hoping to meet the right people, here the AI does the work for you, analyzing profiles, interests, and goals to connect you with the people who matter most. Here's how it works. First, investors are matched with startups. If you're an investor, the system identifies early-stage companies in sustainable agriculture, food technology, or supply chain solutions that align with your focus. You'll see not just a company name, but also key metrics, their stage of development, funding needs, and potential impact. This way, instead of sifting through dozens of random pitches, you're instantly connected with founders who are relevant to your portfolio and values. For startups, this means access to funding opportunities that would otherwise take months of introductions to secure. Second, farmers and policymakers are matched with regional innovators. Farmers may be searching for new irrigation systems, drought-resistant seeds, or low-cost distribution tools. Policymakers may be looking for proven models to scale within their regions. The matchmaking engine scans these needs and connects them directly to innovators offering the right solutions. For example, a farmer in Kenya might be paired with a startup from India specializing in solar-powered cold storage. A policymaker in Latin America could be connected with a cooperative model from Africa that has already transformed rural livelihoods. This matchmaking isn't just networking. It's about practical knowledge transfer that saves time and accelerates impact. Third, NGOs are matched with food distribution projects. Nonprofits often struggle to find credible partners on the ground, while grassroots projects need visibility and support. The AI system bridges this gap. NGOs focused on hunger relief, nutrition, or climate action are connected with food banks, cooperatives, or tech-enabled platforms that align with their mission. This ensures that resources, funding, and expertise are directed to initiatives with proven community value. For grassroots projects, it's a chance to scale beyond local boundaries and gain global allies. Now here's where you come in. Take a moment to check your matchmaking chat panel. Inside, you'll see a list of suggested partners. Not randomly chosen, but carefully curated by the AI based on your profile, preferences, and goals. Maybe you're an investor matched with a regenerative farming startup that's already piloting in 2 countries. Maybe you're a farmer linked to a policy team that can unlock subsidies for your sustainable practices. Maybe you're an NGO leader now connected to a blockchain platform ensuring food traceability in rural markets. This is your opportunity. Introduce yourself. Share what you're working on. Ask questions. Explore possibilities. Remember, collaboration is at the heart of the Peaceism ecosystem. No single organization can solve food security, climate resilience, or equitable distribution alone. But together, through smart matchmaking, we can accelerate solutions and create partnerships that last far beyond today's event. So go ahead, open your chat, see who you're connected with, and take the first step toward collaboration. Your next partner, funder, or ally may be just one message away. Thank you for joining us in the Food Security and Sovereignty Expo Hall, part of the World Peace Products and Services Expo and Conference. Over the past session, we've explored how farming, technology, and fairness can come together to nourish people and heal our planet. We began with regenerative agriculture, where farmers are not just producing food, but restoring ecosystems and creating resilient livelihoods. We then saw the rise of smart farming technologies, from AI-powered drones to vertical hydroponics, proving that innovation can help us grow more food while using fewer resources. And finally, we explored equitable food distribution systems, where digital food banks, farmer cooperatives, and mobile payment platforms ensure that food and opportunity reach those who need it most. Together, these approaches paint a powerful picture, a world where food is not just abundant but accessible. A world where farmers are fairly rewarded, where cities become sources of fresh produce, and where no family has to go hungry while food goes to waste. But this is just the beginning. Food security is not a single innovation or a single project. It is a movement. It is about reimagining agriculture as a system rooted in sustainability, sovereignty, and peace. It's about shifting from extraction to regeneration, from inequality to fairness, from waste to wisdom. And here's the most important part. You are part of this story. Whether you are a farmer, policymaker, entrepreneur, investor, or activist, your actions matter. The conversations you start today, the partnerships you build, and the choices you make can ripple out to impact entire communities and generations to come. As we move into the next session of the Peaceism Ecosystem, let's carry forward the insights we've gathered here. Let's remember that food security is not just about what we eat, it's about who we are, how we live, and the kind of future we want to create. So stay tuned. In the next hall, we'll continue this journey, exploring another pillar of the Peaceism ecosystem and uncovering more ways to build a world that thrives on collaboration, justice, and sustainability. Thank you once again for being here, for listening, and for believing in the possibility of a food system and a world rooted in peace. Thank you for joining us here in the Food Security and Sovereignty Expo Hall, part of the World Peace Products and Services Expo and Conference. Over this past session, we've taken an extraordinary journey together. We began by stepping into the world of regenerative agriculture, where farming is not simply about producing crops, but about restoring balance to ecosystems, protecting biodiversity, and creating resilient livelihoods for millions of families. We saw how cover crops, composting, and agroforestry transform depleted soil into living, fertile ground, and how circular farming systems turn waste into resources. We learned that agriculture, when practiced regeneratively, is not a problem to be solved, but a solution to some of humanity's greatest challenges. From there, we entered the realm of smart farming technologies, where innovation meets sustainability. We witnessed AI-powered drones scanning fields in real time to detect problems before they spread, IoT sensors giving farmers the gift of precision in water and fertilizer use, and vertical hydroponics transforming city rooftops and apartments into abundant food sources. We explored how blockchain can create trust and transparency from farm to table, ensuring that every consumer knows not just what they eat, but the story of who grew it and how. The message is clear. Technology, when used wisely, allows us to grow more food with fewer resources, and in doing so, it empowers both farmers and consumers. And finally, we turned our attention to equitable food distribution, a reminder that producing food is only half the challenge. The other half is ensuring fairness, dignity, and access. We looked at digital food banks that redirect surplus to families in need, farmer cooperatives that protect smallholders from exploitation, and mobile-based platforms that ensure farmers are paid fairly and promptly for their labor. We saw how Rwanda's eSoko platform has empowered farmers to sell directly via mobile phones, boosting incomes while cutting waste. These models remind us that hunger does not exist because of scarcity. It exists because of inequality. By addressing access, we take a crucial step toward justice. Together, these three approaches, regeneration, innovation, and fairness, paint a compelling and hopeful picture. A world where food is not only abundant, but also accessible. A world where farmers are rewarded justly, not exploited. A world where cities and villages alike become centers of food production. A world where no child goes hungry while food rots in warehouses or landfills. But this, my friends, is only the beginning. Food security is not one innovation, not one program, not one project. It is a movement. It is a commitment to reimagine the way we think about agriculture and food, from something that extracts, depletes, and divides into something that regenerates, sustains, and unites. It is about shifting our systems from extraction to regeneration, from inequality to fairness, and from waste to wisdom. And here's the most important truth of all. You are part of this story. Whether you are a farmer nurturing the land, A policymaker designing systems, an entrepreneur building technology, an investor funding bold ideas, or an activist raising your voice, your role matters. Your decisions matter. The conversations you start today, the partnerships you form during this event, and the choices you make in your daily lives can ripple outward, shaping not only the future of food, but the future of peace and sustainability itself. Every action counts. A farmer choosing regenerative practices, a startup designing smarter tools, a policymaker opening markets to fair trade, a consumer scanning a label and choosing food that honors both people and planet. Each of these actions may seem small on its own, but together they add up to transformation. As we transition now into the next session of the Peaceism Ecosystem, let's carry these insights forward. Let's not see food security as an isolated issue, but as the foundation of human dignity, health, and peace. Let's remember that food is never just about calories or crops. It is about culture, community, and the very values we hold as humanity. The next pillar we'll explore will build on this momentum, showing us new pathways to collaboration, resilience, and justice. I invite you to stay with us, to keep your hearts open and your minds engaged, because each hall adds another piece to the mosaic of a sustainable, peaceful world. So as we close this Food Security and Sovereignty Hall, let's take with us a renewed sense of possibility. Let's commit to systems that nourish people, protect the planet, and promote peace. Thank you once again for being here, for listening deeply, and for believing in the power of a food system and a world rooted in sustainability, sovereignty, and peace. Together, let's keep building that future.
Hello, I'm Rania, and I dream of a world where everyone has enough to eat, you know? But it's not easy. My little farm, it's struggling. Then I heard about something called the Peaceism Ecosystem. It's like magic. Suddenly, my crops started dancing with life. Smart little creatures appeared, helping me tend the fields. My farm connected with others around the world. Now we're not just growing food, we're growing peace. From my small plot to the whole wide world, we're building a sustainable future together. This is our story, the story of peaceism.
Welcome to Healthcare for All, where we explore the future of universal healthcare and preventive care. Over the next hour, you'll hear from AI-generated experts sharing innovative models that aim to make healthcare accessible, affordable, and effective for everyone. Discover how preventive care can reduce costs and improve lives, and learn about the latest strategies to integrate mental health into our healthcare systems. After these inspiring presentations, join our AI-moderated debate to explore different frameworks for mental health integration, addressing challenges and opportunities. Together, let's envision a healthier, more equitable future for all. Universal healthcare is not a luxury. It is a human right. When we treat health as a privilege reserved for those who can pay, we divide societies into two realities: those who can heal and those who are left behind. But when we recognize health as a public good, we unlock an engine of social progress that benefits everyone. Look at the Nordic countries. Their universal healthcare systems are not perfect, but they ensure that a child born in a rural village has the same right to a doctor as a child born in a capital city. Rwanda, after the devastation of genocide, rebuilt its healthcare system around equity, and today, more than 90% of its citizens are covered. These examples prove that universal healthcare is possible, even in resource-constrained settings. And the impact goes far beyond medicine. Studies consistently show that universal healthcare strengthens economies. A healthy workforce is more productive. Fewer families fall into poverty due to medical bills. Communities become more resilient against crises, from pandemics to climate shocks. So the question is not, can we afford universal healthcare, but rather, can we afford not to? Every delay, every year of inaction costs us lives, potential, and opportunities for human flourishing. But let's be clear. Universal healthcare is not a one-size-fits-all formula. Each country must design a model that fits its unique context, its culture, its resources, its people. Some may lean on public systems. Others may blend private and public partnerships. What matters is the principle that no one is denied care because of who they are or what they earn. Preventive care is the most powerful yet most underutilized tool in healthcare. Every dollar invested in prevention saves up to $5 in treatment. Think about that. A small investment in keeping people healthy spares families the devastating costs of hospital stays, lost wages, and chronic illness. Yet too often, our systems wait for disease to appear before they act. What if we flipped the script? Instead of waiting for heart disease, we invested in nutrition education and regular blood pressure screenings. Instead of focusing only on cancer treatment, we emphasized early detection through accessible screenings. Instead of treating diabetes once it has advanced, we built healthier food systems and promoted active lifestyles at the community level. The evidence is clear. Prevention transforms healthcare from reactive to proactive. It changes the very definition of what it means to be healthy. Health becomes not simply the absence of disease, but the presence of well-being. And prevention is not just about the individual. It's about systems and communities. When a city invests in clean air policies, it prevents asthma and lung disease for thousands. When schools prioritize physical activity and balanced meals, they lay the foundation for a healthier generation. When governments fund vaccination programs, they save millions of lives and billions of dollars. But prevention requires long-term vision and political courage, because the benefits of prevention are not always immediate. Politicians may not see the results in a single election cycle, yet the payoff for humanity is enormous. Imagine a healthcare system where illness is the exception, not the norm. A system that celebrates wellness as much as it responds to disease. A world where your local clinic isn't just a place you go when you're sick, but a hub for health promotion, education, and community connection. That is the power of prevention. Not just saving money, not just saving lives, but building societies where health is sustained, protected, and shared by all. Artificial intelligence is already reshaping healthcare. From predicting disease outbreaks to detecting the earliest signs of cancer, AI tools are democratizing access to life-saving insights. A rural clinic with limited staff can now use AI-driven diagnostics to catch diseases earlier than ever before. A smartphone app can track subtle changes in speech or movement, signaling neurological conditions before they advance. And global health agencies use AI to map and predict epidemics, buying precious time to save lives. But here's the truth. AI is not magic. It is not a cure-all. And it must never be allowed to replace the human touch at the heart of medicine. The key is balance. Technology must complement human care, not compete with it. Why? Because healthcare is not only about data, it is about trust. A machine can read a scan, but only a human doctor can hold your hand when you are afraid. An algorithm can flag a risk, but only a nurse can explain it with compassion and help you feel safe. If we design wisely, AI can take away the heavy burdens, the repetitive tasks, the administrative overload, the delays in diagnosis, freeing clinicians to do what they do best: care. Imagine doctors spending less time typing into computers and more time listening to their patients. Imagine health workers in underserved areas gaining the same decision support tools as those in the world's best hospitals. Of course, there are challenges: data privacy, bias in algorithms, unequal access to digital tools. If left unchecked, AI could widen inequalities instead of reducing them. That is why ethics and inclusivity must guide innovation at every step. Together, we can create smarter, more compassionate healthcare ecosystems. Systems where artificial intelligence strengthens human intelligence, where efficiency serves empathy, where technology is not the story, but the instrument that allows the story of human healing to unfold with more dignity and more reach than ever before. As a voice for patients, I want to remind us, behind every policy, every system, every budget decision is a person. Someone's mother, father, child. It's easy, when we talk about healthcare, to get lost in numbers, cost per capita, coverage percentages, mortality rates. These statistics are important, but they are not the whole story, because behind each number is a life. Behind every data point is a human being who dreams, struggles, and deserves dignity. Healthcare is not only about curing illness, it is about dignity, trust, and hope. It is about whether a young mother feels safe walking into a clinic, whether an elderly man can afford his medicine without choosing between food and treatment, whether a teenager struggling with depression finds someone who listens. I once heard a patient describe healthcare as a doorway. For some, that doorway is wide open, affordable, welcoming, easy to walk through. For others, the doorway is locked, blocked by cost, distance, or stigma. A true healthcare for all system ensures that the doorway is open to everyone, no matter who they are or where they come from. And here's the truth: patients know what they need. Too often, systems are designed without listening to the very people they serve. If we want healthcare that works, we must design it not just for people, but with people. That means listening to patient voices in policy rooms, including communities in decisions about care, and respecting the lived experiences of those most affected. Because healthcare is not charity. It is not something given to the poor or marginalized. It is a partnership between systems and citizens, built on respect. A healthcare for all system listens to its people and ensures no one is left behind. Yes, mental health must be integrated. 1 in 4 people will face a mental health challenge in their lifetime. That is not a statistic about them. It is a statistic about us, our families, our neighbors, our colleagues, our friends. Yet for too long, mental health has lived in the shadows of healthcare, treated as optional, secondary, or somehow less urgent. By integrating mental health into primary care, we change that story. We reduce stigma by making mental health a normal, routine part of the healthcare journey. When a patient comes for a checkup, screening for depression should be as natural as checking blood pressure. When someone visits their local clinic, access to counseling or mental health support should be as expected as access to antibiotics. Integration improves access. In many countries, there are far too few psychiatrists, psychologists, or specialists. But primary care providers are everywhere. In community clinics, in local health centers, in the places people already go for help. Equipping them with tools, training, and resources to address mental health expands the reach of care exponentially. And most importantly, integration treats the whole person, body and mind, together. We know that mental health impacts physical health. Depression worsens outcomes for diabetes and heart disease. Stress weakens the immune system. Trauma affects recovery from illness. To separate the mind from the body is not only artificial, it is dangerous. Without integration, we continue to treat mental health as an afterthought instead of a fundamental part of health. The result? People suffer in silence. Families carry burdens alone. Economies lose billions in productivity. And lives are cut short, not by disease alone, but by despair. Imagine instead a system where mental health is not hidden in specialist clinics or whispered in shame, but welcomed openly at the very front door of healthcare. A system where seeking help for depression is as ordinary and as accepted as seeking help for the flu. Integration sounds ideal, but we must proceed cautiously. There is no question that mental health is essential. No one here would deny its importance. But the challenge lies not in recognizing the need. It lies in how we build systems that actually deliver care. Many healthcare systems around the world are already underfunded, understaffed, and overstretched. In some places, clinics lack enough doctors to handle even basic physical health needs. Nurses are working double shifts, supplies are short, and patients wait hours just to be seen. To add mental health to this already fragile system, without major new resources, risks overwhelming it even further. Integration without investment can dilute care quality for both physical and mental health. A general practitioner may be asked to diagnose and treat depression in the morning, manage diabetes in the afternoon, and handle emergencies in between. Often without the specialized training or time required, the result could be well-intentioned but ineffective care. Specialized systems, when properly funded and staffed, may serve patients better. Mental health requires expertise, psychiatrists, psychologists, social workers, community counselors. It requires environments where confidentiality, time, and trust are prioritized. Folding it into primary care without the right safeguards risks reducing complex issues into checklists, or worse, missing them altogether. And let's be honest, integration is not cost neutral. It demands investment in training, infrastructure, supervision, and ongoing support. Without that, we may raise expectations but fail to meet them, leaving patients disillusioned and providers burned out. So the real question is not whether mental health matters. It does. The question is whether integration is the most effective and sustainable path forward for every context. In some systems, the answer may be yes. In others, building strong, well-funded, specialized mental health services alongside primary care may be more realistic and effective.
Hi there, I'm Miss Sarah. Well, I guess you could call me Peaceism. Yeah, peace works. Let me show you something important. See these people? They're all struggling with healthcare. It's tough out there. But what if I told you there's a way to change all this? Enter World Peace Development Holdings Limited. They've got this amazing idea called the Peaceism Ecosystem. It's all about bringing people together, you know? Healthcare for everyone. Watch this. See how everything's connecting? Now look, people are healthier, happier, and more peaceful. Cool, right? Want to be part of this change? Join us at the Healthcare for All Expo. Together, we're building a sustainable future. How's that for world peace? Remember, a healthy world is a peaceful world. See you soon.
Imagine a world where every home is a cornerstone of peaceism, where sustainable communities aren't just a dream, but our everyday reality. This is the vision of the World Peace Housing and Sustainable Communities Expo. Picture innovative homes that work with nature, not against it. Envision cities where green spaces flourish and neighbors from all walks of life thrive together. See how cutting-edge technology creates disaster-resilient infrastructure, protecting our communities. Discover how affordable housing solutions are breaking the cycle of poverty and conflict. Explore eco-urban designs that transform concrete jungles into vibrant, living ecosystems. Witness the power of community-led initiatives shaping the future of our urban landscapes. Uncover investment strategies that yield both financial returns and social impact. Learn from global experts pioneering the path to a more harmonious world. Because when we build sustainable communities, we're not just constructing buildings, we're laying the foundation for lasting peace. From innovative materials to smart city planning, see the future of housing unfold before your eyes. Engage with policymakers, architects, and visionaries from across the globe. Be part of Peaceism that's redefining what it means to live in harmony with each other and our planet. Join us at the World Peace Housing and Sustainable Communities Expo. Together, let's design tomorrow's peaceful communities today. Register now and be the change in your city's future. Building peace, one home at a time. In a world divided, imagine a force that could unite us all. Welcome to Peaceism, where education transforms lives and builds a sustainable future. At World Peace Development Holdings Limited, we're revolutionizing learning through digital platforms that know no borders. Our peace curricula foster understanding, empathy, and the skills to resolve conflicts peacefully. With lifelong upskilling, we ensure everyone can thrive in our rapidly changing world. Through blockchain technology, we're creating true financial inclusion, turning challenges into opportunities for all. This is the power of Peaceism, building bridges to a harmonious future across 7 essential pillars of human need. Join us at the World Peace Education Transformation Expo and Conference. Together we can transform education and build a world of lasting peace. Register now for September 26, 2026. Be part of the change. Be part of Peaceism.
What if school felt more like discovery and less like memorizing facts? Education is transforming, fast. Gone are the days of one-size-fits-all learning. Now, personalized lessons, interactive tech, real-world problem-solving are reshaping how we learn. Students aren't just memorizing dates or formulas, they're coding, they're collaborating, they're questioning, they're creating. AI-driven tutors adapt to each student's pace. Virtual reality can take you to ancient Rome or inside a cell, all before lunch break. Teachers, they're guides, they're mentors, not just lecturers. And learning doesn't stop at the school gates. Online courses, global classrooms, digital resources open up a world of knowledge anytime, anywhere. But the real magic? Education's not just about getting a job. It's about nurturing thinkers, creators, and problem solvers for tomorrow's world. The future of education is flexible, dynamic, and designed for you. So, are you ready to learn, unlearn, and relearn? Because the next era of education is happening now.
In a world divided, imagine a future united. This is the Peaceism Ecosystem, a decentralized platform addressing humanity's core needs: jobs, food, healthcare, housing, education, justice, welfare, and safety. Powered by blockchain, it ensures transparency and fairness for all. No more economic disparities, no more technological displacement, just equitable resource allocation and sustainable income models, where governance is transparent and justice is restorative. This isn't just a concept, it's a revolution in action. Join us at the World Peace, Justice, and Equity Systems Expo and Conference, October 27th, 2026. Be part of building a sustainable future. The Peaceism Ecosystem. Peace by design.
What's up, guys? I bet you've never seen anything like what I'm about to show you. We're about to change the entire world in just 60 seconds. That's right, we're talking about World Peace Development Holdings Limited and their insane Peaceism Ecosystem. They're throwing this crazy event called the World Peace, Safety, and Global Resilience Services Expo on December 28, 2026, and it's gonna be absolutely nuts. Alright, check this out. The world's facing some pretty intense stuff right now, like 100 million people displaced by conflicts and disasters. But Peaceism is here to flip the script. We're talking next-level conflict resolution that could stop wars in days, disaster prep that can evacuate entire cities in hours, and cybersecurity so good it'll block 1 million attacks per second. This isn't just about peace, it's about building a future so awesome you won't believe it's real. Let's go make history.
What if I told you every handshake, every idea, every product shared at this expo is a seed for world peace? Today, as we close the World Peace Products and Services Expo and Conference, I want you to remember, peace isn't just an ideal, it's a practice. It's in the things we invent, the services we offer, the connections we make. Look around, the conversations you've had, the innovations you've seen, the people you've met. Each of these moments is a ripple, spreading outwards, touching lives in ways you might never see. But world peace doesn't start with governments or giant movements. It starts with us, with how we treat each other, with the businesses we build, with every decision to choose compassion over conflict. So as you leave today, don't let this just be another event you attended. Carry this energy with you. Support peace-driven businesses. Share what you've learned. Challenge yourself to turn inspiration into action. Because together, we are more than dreamers. We are doers. And every small step you take is a giant leap for peace. Thank you for being part of this movement. Let's keep planting those seeds. The world is waiting.